I'm back, guys. Day 2 of the Milwaukee saw test. So what I was thinking about last night after I did the initial cut test was that you wouldn't actually use a saw. You wouldn't like have the blade continually going doing 5 cuts at a time. So what I'm going to try and do is replicate a working environment where you go and take a bunch of measurements and then you cut those measurements one at a time. So imagine you had a wall like this and you were wanting to, for whatever reason, you had to put a row of blocks or you had to pack it out. So you would come along and you would measure 295 and you'd measure 555. So you'd write a bunch of measurements on a block like this, 245, 545, and then so you'd end up with say 5 to 10 measurements on a list, and then you would take this back to the cutting table and you'd cut those, but you would be measuring one at a time. What I want to work out is when you do that and you measure 245 and then you cut, does it draw more power? Does it draw less power? Can we still get 300 cuts out of it with that? I'm still going to do them in groups of 10, then I'm going to walk away, pretend that I'm measuring another wall, then I'm going to come back. The other thing when you're cutting, blocking and dwinging is you would normally square up your first edge. So I'm going to square it up, measure, cut, measure, cut, measure, cut. One annoying thing I've noticed already is that because the vacuum cleaner is powered and normally you'd plug your saw into your vacuum cleaner. When you pull the trigger on the saw, the vacuum cleaner turns on, but because of the battery you have to turn the vacuum cleaner off manually. Slightly frustrating, and sometimes you forget to turn it on. So we're at 50 blocks, so I've cut 50 dwangs, blocks, studs, whatever you'd like to call it, and I've done a total of 60 cuts to achieve those 50 blocks. That's including squaring up the ends. So we got a quarter of a bar. I've been doing this now for about half an hour of like stop, start, stop, start. I haven't even been drawing on it regularly, and already at 50 cuts the saw is starting to cut out. So you do have to keep that in mind. You wouldn't be able to have someone continuously cutting on here. You need to have those couple of minute gaps between each set. We'll keep going anyway. We'll see how we go. One thing I've noticed is when you go to draw on the 6th cut, it often is not keeping up. I don't know if it's the battery or the amount of cuts we're doing, but I have, in between each group of 5 blocks, I have been walking away for a good couple of minutes doing a job, then coming back and cutting another 5, and I'm still finding that 4th to 5th draw, the full stop, the saw is working hard to keep up. It's getting late, I've done 100 cuts and I've used half of the battery. Camera battery is about to die as well, so I'll charge that, we'll go home, come back first thing in the morning. I'll pull the battery out of the saw so we continue with 2 bars on the battery. What's up guys, it's Sunday morning. I'm back with my battery from last night, 2 bars. So far I just counted up yesterday to confirm I've cut 100 blocks. Since being on site this morning, I've done 20 cuts and we're already down to the last bar on the battery. Just finished cut number 150. Notice that the saw is starting to struggle, battery's flashing. Okay, so there you have it. Battery is fully dead. So in a work replicate environment where you're fully stopping, fully starting the store, cutting blocks, I've got 150 blocks down there and I've tallied up the cuts to produce those 150 blocks, so I'll let you know how many that is below now.